If you're on a GLP-1 and you're traveling soon, then don't make these mistakes. I'm Tiffany. I'm a physician assistant, but also a GLP-1 advocate. So I help people get access to GLP-1s that can't get them through traditional insurance. So if that's something you're struggling with, there's some links over here in my bio to help you out. So before we get started, I want you to go ahead and save this video because at some point, if you're on a GLP-1, you are going to take a trip and you may need this information later so you can come back to it. So people tend to stress out when they're fixing to go on a trip if they're on a GLP-1 because we'd have to do a few things as far as storage and traveling. So people tend to tell me, oh, I'm just going to skip my GLP-1 while I'm on the trip. Now, this is not always the right move. So let me give you a few tips on what to do. So first of all, it does depend a little bit on what kind of GLP-1 you're on. So the ones that come in a pen form, like Ozempic, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, the ones that are in a pre-filled pen, those actually need to stay cold until you use them the first time. Now, some of those pens are one and done. You use the pen, you throw it away. Some of those are multi-use pens. So once you use the pen, then it can stay at room temperature until you're finished. So it is important to know and ask your pharmacist which type of pen that you're using. So if you've already used it for the first time and you're on the type of pen that can stay at room temperature, then you're good. Now, if you do need to keep your pens cold, it is important to get a little mini cooler or an insulated bag and get ice packs. TSA does allow that. You just have to declare that while you're going through security. Now, you want to make sure that this is in your carry-on bag. You never want to put this in your checked luggage. Okay, so this needs to stay on your person at all times. Okay, so a special note for compounded medications. If you're on a compound, most of the time they're going to be drawn up out of a vial. These vials do best when they're staying cold until after the best use date. So you're going to need some sort of cooler or insulated bag with ice packs for the vial. It is always best practice to bring a copy of your prescription label with you, just so if TSA inquires, you can show them that you do have a valid prescription for these medications. Now, you'll also want to bring with you your syringes, your alcohol swabs, and I like keeping them all in a little pack together with the medication. Now, we all know that when we're on vacation, we like to kind of go gangbusters on our eating, but obviously we don't want to ruin our vacation with an upset stomach. So my tips are go ahead and get your meal, whatever you want to eat, get a to-go box right away. Go ahead and split your food in half. Put half of it in the to-go box. Eat half of what's on your plate. And then if you're still hungry, then you can go ahead and eat a little bit more. But this will help you not get overstuffed on vacation. Right before you eat on the plane, make sure you eat light. Don't eat anything greasy, and this will help you from having plane-related yuckiness. Nobody wants to be sick in an airplane bathroom. So make sure you pack with you in your carry-on some ginger chews, some mints, and some electrolyte packets that you can put in your water. That'll all help a little bit with some nausea. And then once you get to wherever you're going to go, take your medications out, put them in the refrigerator, and then take your dose at the scheduled time. So let me know in the comments section if there's anything else that we need to be worrying about if you're on vacation. The only other thing I will add is that sometimes on vacation, people will drink alcohol when they're not used to drinking on a normal day-to-day. We need to be careful with alcohol consumption. Sometimes it can hit you a lot harder if you're not used to drinking, especially on a GLP-1. So just be mindful of that. So let me know in the comments, and I want to hear all the things, and I also want to hear where you're going.